Okay, we're going down memory lane and I only got 17 minutes to do it. Oh, crap. I am uploading the other one right now. Um, Me and my roadkill deer. Anyway, so my father was the sole provider for many, many years, and my mother worked a part-time job. But the winter, well, somewhere between, I think it was 77, we got hammered. So did Michigan. They got like 6 foot of snow. We got buried in upstate New York. Prior to that, they started having that, it was a weird gas shortage thing going on. And I remember my parents had invested in gremlins because they had really good gas mileage. And so, yeah, we had a herd of them. My sister's first car was a fucking gremlin. Anywho, so yeah, kind of have an affinity for those. Anyway, so the summer before that winter was like 77 when all of this crazy was going on. And in order to maintain any kind of budget, we had to use the heat, which was oil heat back then, at a very minimum. And so I remember my great grandmother and my grandmother coming to the house, the actual manufactured home, and we had these like sawhorses in the living room, and we quilted all summer long in preparation for the winter. And here's where I come into play. Me and my little sister. We literally were underneath the sawhorses where they stretched the quilts while we were quilting the ties. I have one on my bed. I may go get it and show you the tying. Anyway, they stretched it across these horses, and me and my little sister, who are like 4 and 5-ish, were underneath. They would send the needle down and we would send the needle back up. And they would tie it off, and then they'd send the needle down and we would send the needle back up at every stitch joint. Yeah. Living in a house that small with that many people is, unless you have the organization of fucking Monk, it is chaos. We ate a lot of fucking goulash, spaghetti, macaroni soup, wash, rinse, repeat. What I use in my spaghetti is like a pound of hamburger for me, and maybe give extra to a friend at work. We used a baseball size of hamburger to feed 7 people. You want to talk about frugal food consumption to stretch the pennies. Yes, my mother has it down to an art. I can do it. I don't like to do it. I know how to do it. And which I resonate with an emotional connectivity to people who are struggling right now beyond definition. I have had to do it. I grew up with it. I know what it's like. Fucking sucks. And I have a book in my I kept it even though I don't need it. But there's some pretty nice tips in there, even if you aren't on a budget, called penny pinching. Yeah. There's a few things that are suggested, and it's like, no, I would not do that. Um, I'm kind of bougie. Like, it suggests doing Vaseline for skin moisturizer. No, don't do that. Splurge. Get the coconut oil and do that instead. Okay? Much better for your skin. Much healthier for, your body. Little pricey. Just petrolatum, stick a wick in it, and burn it in a case of emergency. It's an awesome standby candle. As far as putting that shit on your skin, unless you're a baby with diaper rash, don't. Clog your pores in a fucking instant. Horrible. My daughter's an esthetician. They detest coconut oil. I fucking love this stuff. I'm 52 years old. I don't have the most primo skincare, but I don't look 52. There's a lot of content creators on here. They got little tricks, castor oil, olive oil, and coconut oil, and yeah, we do everything that the estheticians say not to. I would rather use coconut oil, cold press, on my face before I use some sort of weird expensive cosmetic brand and or petrolatum. Enough said. Not even going to go into a fucking debate. Because that is fossil fuel, motor oil, condensed. Coconut oil comes from a fruit from a tree. And it doesn't go through a whole bunch of chemical processing in order to get it that way. Please, don't argue me with this one. Anywho, so yeah, growing up in the 70s was really, really rough. And we appreciated life. We appreciated being outdoors. I did front walkovers incessantly. We did gymnastics on the front yard. We had bald. We had no grass. There was no prettiness to our landscape because we were tumbling on it from sun up to sundown. Life was different. It was simpler. There was no technology. There was no surfing the internet. We had to wait for our shows to come on cable. We played crazy games like, Mother May I, Hucklebuckle Beanstalk, and what were the other ones? Red Rover, Red Rover. Hucklebuckle Beanstalk was my favorite. And the only time we played that often was when we go visit the cousins, because we had tons of them up where they were, and it needs a lot of people to do it. But tag and hide and seek and, we were outside. Sometimes we were out after dark, as long as all the kids had basically coordinated with the parents in the area. We're all going to be over here, and they'd hear us hollering and screaming well after dark. Playing outside. It was normal to be outside after dark. Raising hell. Screeching, screaming, yelling, Kids actually entertained themselves with raking the lawn and jumping in the fucking leaves. Me and my friends, actually, we would go on adventure walks. We lived in an area, and there was trails and, whatnot all over the place. God, I can't imagine we did not cover every stitch of land that surrounded that manufactured home compound. We did everything. We caught frogs in a pond. We built forts. We ate wild blueberries, you name it. Climbed trees, dug holes in the sides of cliffs, rode our bikes. No phone calls, no phones, no contact with civilization. Wandered around the wilderness from sunup to sundown. And when friends were out on family vacations, you know where I was? Hanging out on my swing set. Or doing that by myself. Being alone is not an unusual thing for me. Which probably blows people's minds. It's like, she sits there and talks every day after work. She doesn't, does she have friends? Does she have a social life? Well, I can do the same thing at home as I can at a bar. And a lot of times I go to a bar and they don't sell this. I have to request them to order it. And by that time, I'm bored with the atmosphere, and I, by my own, stay at home anyway. So they're ordering it, and nobody's drinking it but me. I just don't go there anymore. '70s, '80s, and '90s were a different era. I used a lot of Aquanet. Yeah, I had big hair. It was scary. And I did have friends, but I had very few. And I've always had very few. And there were some people in school that had hundreds of friends. Like when I was young, I had hundreds of friends. When I got older, I started to weed out the riffraff. Nope, 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 nope. Because it's just me. Me and my sketch pad. Maybe one or two. A couple of male friends I'm still in contact to this day. God, I pray every day that, we can keep in contact till we get stupid old together. A friend of mine from high school, he's been like a brother to me ever since I was young. Recently got diagnosed with cancer. And it's like, because you're a picky fucking eater, yo. I can lecture you. I can lecture both of you, the two friends that I do have that came down with it. And it's concerning to me because we left the state of New York in the early 90s, and everybody that we have been friends with thus far who's lived in that area or stayed within that one area has come down with some sort of critical illness or terminal disease. And it is very concerning, and I'm starting to question what the fuck is in the water. Because my friends are dropping left and right. It's heartbreaking. So, let it be known, I was raised a Gen X kid. Just typical, you hear the comedy people, they talk about it. Hell yeah, fuck around, find out. Still have that mentality. But yeah, everything that they're saying is true. And when the gas shortage and whatnot, I experienced it. I was very little. However, yes, to mitigate having to pay an astronomical oil heating bill that year, we made quilts. Full size, folded them in half. Oh, and my mother would boil water on our stove and fill bleach jugs because they seal real good, they don't leak. And when she would bleach our clothes, get them as white, because she was kind of OCD that way. But anyway, bleach jugs are the best. You need a hot water bottle, bleach jug. Boil water, pour it into the jug, seal the cap, wrap it in a towel, put it in your bed. The quilts, we would double them. So we made 10 that summer. Each of us had one. We double it, put it on top, and whatever extra blankets that we already possessed, we'd layer them on top. A homemade quilt is the warmest motherfucking thing you will ever wrap your body in. Bar none. I have one on my bed now. I have two, actually. I have the one my grandma got me for my 18th. Actually, it was my graduation from high school. And the one my mother made me in Germany. My mom had that one professionally stitched. My grandma tied this one herself. Hold on, I'm going to go get it. This is a star quilt that my grandmother made me for my graduation from high school. You see all these little ties? That's how they did it back in the day. This thing fits a king-size bed. Or no, I have a queen. It fits a full. But yeah, she was like in her 70s when she made this for me. I think she was 78 when she made this for me. That's the center because she knew I loved black. But the rest of it is all pastels. A couple of black triangles here and there. But yeah. We helped do these in the 70s. Peace out, y'all.